guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brandon and you're watching M.O.N.Comics. Last week I was issued a tag challenge from my friend David over at Still Only 35 Cents. Wonderful guy, great content creator, and his tag challenge was the 5 most undervalued books in my opinion. Now he didn't put any parameters on this. He didn't say they had to be in your collection or they couldn't be in your collection. He showed books he had. He also issued the challenge to Hagen from Rlcomics and Ricky from All Sorts of Words. So they put their own spins on it too. I have decided that I'm just going to go with books I own, that I'm familiar with, that I can talk about, and why I think they're undervalued, or try to show some numbers to prove my points. But tag challenges are a fun thing. I haven't done one in a while. One hasn't been issued to me. And I will name some creators at the end of this video that I'd like to tag too. Guys, if you dig this content, if you like the channel, what I'm putting out, subscribing, liking really helps. I'd appreciate the support. I'm very grateful for anyone that takes the time to watch my videos. So let's get into the books that I've chosen that I think are 5 undervalued books. Okay, so at number 5, it's kind of like an encompassing theme, but I own one, and I think an undervalued book are restored pre-code horror books, or really any Golden Age books. This is Tomb of Terror number 12 from 1953. It's a beautiful, beautiful Lee Elias cover. I'll put up a little close to the camera. I've showed it before. It's got like a zombie about to brand a guy. Now, when you are dealing with Golden Age books, it's very hard to find books that aren't restored. Back in the day, restoration was just a normal thing for people to try to make the books look better. You know, there wasn't grading companies, weren't, you know, even a thought back then. So that wasn't a thing back then. So no one, you know, people were trying to make their books look better. So why I think they're undervalued is if this book, when I bought this at the sale I was in, it was quoted as possibly, without the restoration, being a 4.0 to a 5.0. And in that grade, they can sell anywhere from $400 to $600. But because it has some restoration on the spine and some glue inside the cover, they were selling it for $200, and I think I offered $150, and I got it for that. So for me to be able to, if you've watched my channel before, but if you're new to it, I'm really big on the history of comics, where they've come from, where they've, you know, what they've become today. And pre-code books, the whole Comic Code Authority is very interesting to me. So to own a piece of history from that era that might have a little touch-up, it does not bother me. Restoration in Golden Age doesn't bother me. So I think being able to get into these pre-code horror books, if you can, you know, tolerate a little bit of restoration for, you know, a pretty economical price compared to an unrestored counterpart or a Grail pre-code horror book, I think that's a pretty good deal. So number 5, I'm saying restored pre-code horror, undervalued, go out there and get them. All right, next up, I chose X Factor number 6. Why did I choose this book? This is the first appearance of a major X-Men villain. This is the first appearance of Apocalypse. And it's just nuts to me that this book can be had in the VF range with a direct edition for about $30. This was a newsstand edition. This was actually, I didn't buy this. This was gifted to me by a childhood friend. I grew up with a sister. He's a couple years younger than me, but like a couple months ago, he said, hey, I found my comics. And I said, bring them to my house. I've got bags and boards. Let's get new bags and boards on them. And you want to protect them. And he had a direct edition and a newsstand edition. And he had some other great keys too. And I just said, you know, it's important you protect these. They're not crazy expensive or valuable. And that made me start thinking about this. Is like, why is this not more? This is a huge villain. When I hit 1,000 subs, he was kind enough. He called me, he said, stop by my house, and he gifted me the newsstand edition. So Blaze, I appreciate it, man. It was really kind of you if you watch this video. So yeah, I had to pick this at number 4 because I just think for a major X-Men villain, getting a very fine copy for under $50 is bonkers to me. So X Factor number 6 is number 4. Okay, coming in at number 3 for me is another like all-encompassing category, kind of like Golden Age horror, but it is pre-hero Marvel monsters. To me, you can get these books before the superheroes came out. Again, another piece of comic book history, something that held Marvel together, you know, from when the Comic Code Authority was enacted to when they began their superhero run with Fantastic Four in 1961. These books are very important to me. Not am I just a monster fan, but I think they're an important part of history. So books like this, Strange Tales, number 87, with the, I love the really cool, you know, bubble pricing. Journey into Mystery 59. Now these are all mid to low grade. Again, I just think they're wonderful covers, usually by Jack Kirby, the legend, and Steve Ditko. Again, I like the pricing, how that is here. It's really cool. And this Journey into Mystery pre-Thor, which is in a low grade, number 60. Again, it's got a really cool, just small 10 cents up there. So these 3 books I got for sub $100. It's kind of crazy to me that you can still pick up, again, lower to mid grade, but these pieces of comic history, particularly Marvel, for sub $100. It's just nuts to me. And then the only graded one, well, besides my Fin Fang Foom, Tales of Suspense, number 10 in a CGC 4.0. I got this from my comic shop. I think it was $160 shipped. That just blows my mind. Like, you know, a lot of people are familiar with Tales of Suspense from the later stuff with Captain America and Iron Man when they were sharing a title. So they did lean into monsters in the younger or earlier times. So to me, yeah, number 3's got to be pre-hero Silver Age monster books as definitely undervalued books. Okay, number 2, we're getting into the meat and potatoes of this video. I think Fantastic Four 52 is a really undervalued comic. It was higher prices, of course, during the comic book boom a couple years ago. Since then, it's dropped down. I paid more than what this is worth now, but that's fine. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I just love owning this book. CGC 2.5s can be found for $273, with the last sale of that amount being on June 6, 2024. This is from 1966. The cultural significance of a major black superhero at a time of civil rights and civil unrest, Marvel pushing boundaries, is huge to me in comic history. And the fact that a lower grade book with a major character, I mean, rest in peace Chadwick Boseman. I mean, he was wonderful as a Black Panther, and, you know, he is a huge Marvel character, and for his first appearance in a Fantastic Four book, you can get for low grade under $300 right now at a 2.5. I just think that's criminally underrated, undervalued, and yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And my number 1 choice for undervalued comics has to be Daredevil, number 1. Now, let's break down the brass tacks. I'm not going to act like I memorized all this because it's just too much information. But when David issued this challenge, I really wanted to dive in and check out some big first appearance numbers. So what I did is I considered this along with 4 other big first appearances of the Silver Age in their own titles. So I didn't count characters like Thor because he appeared in Journey into Mystery 83. I didn't count Silver Surfer, which is in Fantastic Four 50. I didn't count Iron Man, which is in Tales of Suspense 39. I just went with their first number 1 issue. So I went with the Fantastic Four number 1 from 1961. And I kept it all in 1.0 to try to compare if someone was trying to get it on the ground level of a 1.0 book, just to say they own it, what costs they're looking at. So for Fantastic Four 1, fair market value is $5,714. With the last sold $5,500 on November 8th of 2023. X-Men number 1 from 1963 in a 1.0. Fair market value $4,858, with the last sold $4,500 on June 15th, 2024. I then picked Amazing Spider-Man issue number 1. Fair market value of $5,233, with the last sold $4,900 on May 9th, 2024. Incredible Hulk, number 1 from 1962. A 1.0 fair market value is $9,812, with the last one being sold for $9,900 on November 3rd of 2023. Daredevil number 1, fair market value $1,005, with the last one sold for $800 on March 17th of this year. How the heck is what I consider a major first appearance of a big Marvel hero named off with those other ones for sub $1,000 the last sale was. Fair market value at $1,000. Everything else was $4,000 or higher. I think this is a massively undervalued book for what it is. So let's go over some other numbers quick. So I know it's not gospel, but then I dove into the CGC census for those same books. I wanted to see how many there were. So I combined all there were graded from Universal, Qualified, Signature Series, and Restored. So Fantastic Four, number 1 in a 1.0, there's 145 graded. X-Men, Number 1 in a 1.0, there's 236 graded. Amazing Spider-Man number 1 in a 1.0, there's 241 graded. Incredible Hulk number 1 in a 1.0, there's 95 graded. And Daredevil number 1 in a 1.0, there are 169 graded. So the rarest, according to the CGC census, of graded copies is number 1, Hulk, number 2, Fantastic Four, and then Daredevil has the lowest number of number 1 grades. Now this was just, I was taking into account what would be an entry-level book for someone looking to be economical, but still, like, maybe it's like mine. This has got a detached cover, but for a 1.0, all day long, it looks beautiful to me, and I'm happy to just own it. So those numbers, when I really drilled into it, really blew my mind, and it was like, this is just crazy that everything kind of lines up to make this book a little more rare and still undervalued as far as what's on the census for this grade. So yeah, that is my number 1 choice, Daredevil number 1. All right, this is a tag challenge. So the 3 channels I will be tagging is Awesome Toy Box with Troy. Okay, buddy, show me what you think 5 undervalued comics are. I'd also like to tag Derek from Uncanny Comics. Show me what you got, brother. And the last person I'd like to tag is Matt from Matt Likes Comics. So a couple newer YouTubers, and Troy's been at it for a minute. But guys, you have been now tagged. Show me what you guys got for 5 most undervalued books. So this week, Friday, Big 5 Live coming up. I'll probably have another video drop. I'm trying to push it this week because I have so much I want to get in there and keep putting out before Terrificon. So I hope everyone has a great day. Until next time, keep reading those comics.